most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMA Anomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMA Anomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMA Anomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMA Anomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMA Anomaly, and with me, as usual, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. But if your eyes are open, if you're locked in live and watching the video version of this, you can see there are two other beautiful, bright, and bushy-tailed folks here right underneath us, ready to spit the facts when it comes to this incredibly stacked fight card we had on Saturday. You know I'm talking about Crossover MMA and S-Dogs MMA Talk. We're going to go to Cross first. Cross, how are we doing on this beautiful Monday afternoon, my friend?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Whenever I get asked to come on the MMA Anomaly Show, man, it's always a treat. Looking forward to chopping it up with the boys, man. Let's get to it.
Sterling, how we living, baby?
Dog, you know what it is, man. Always excited to chop it up with the boys, son. I've been on MMA Anomaly No Filter in a minute. I got the Jive Turkey Nano above me, son. Crossover MMA is in this bitch. And, of course, the fucking host tonight, son. MMA Anomaly. I saw Juice Man say fire intro earlier. I'm glad you got to see that for the first time, Juice Man. Just sit back, people, and enjoy because the production on this today is next level. Let's lock in, boys.
Let's go. Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
And we got Capri's, baby. We got Capri's upside down today, people.
Are we doing it right now? Is this the moment, folks?
I am thirsty. Very thirsty.
Bro, let's go for it. And Sterling, don't be nice about it. Just go for it, bro. Watch how easy this is.
So Crossover told me.
Make sure you have the right end of the straw, too. Make sure you have the pointy end of the straw.
That's good looking out because I didn't. I had to flip it. So young Crossover told me this is the old school way or the new school way of doing it. All right, putting it in the hole that way with the fucking sharp end. We're going upside down today. Apparently, this is the method to do it. I saw a lot of people supporting Cross. So we're drinking upside down Capri's today, people. Let's fucking get the show going. Ready? Oh, my God.
Wow.
Shout out shout out Crossover MMA. Who needs homies? When you got homies like Crossover MMA, son.
I'm telling you, bro.
We're sipping upside down Capri's,
Super
baby.
easy, dog. Super easy, man. Now you welcome at the barbecue, brother.
That's big. That's big. You better take that invite now.
It's a pretty big unlock, bro.
Hey, that's huge, Otto. I'd rather get invited to that than the UFC any day.
You know what I'm saying? It's a more exclusive event. You can pay your way into the UFC. You can't pay your way into the barbecue, brother.
Facts.
That's a fact, dog. I'm just keeping it real.
Facts. No, that's facts.
Mm-hmm.
Bars, bro. Bars.
There's not enough money in the world to pay your way into the freaking barbecue, brother.
Facts.
We gotta
Based
look
on,
out
as
for
the
you,
Brazilians say, that's based on respect. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, straight up. Honored. Honored.
Man, speaking of respect, right? Respect to Mateusz Gamrot. Like I bet against him on Klein this week because I needed a dog, and I definitely picked the wrong one. But shout out Mateusz Gamrot for holding down this card as the impromptu main event of the evening. With that being said, I mean, we got four guys just ripping and roaring to talk about these fights. One of them just popped into a Capri Sun in a brand new way. So we are ready. We're going to start off at the bottom of the card here, folks. And before we do that, I got to say shout out to Juice Man. I appreciate it, man. His first time watching the intro. So creative. Awesome. Dude, I appreciate that. I put in all the work on that, man. So I appreciate it. Truly. Speaking of something else I appreciated, the grit from women's strawweight contender Alice Ardeline. She went out there and actually looked really good against Hayani Dos Santos. Is it Hayani or Ryan? Because I've heard it said both ways.
Hey, I ain't gonna correct you, brother.
I'm not going to correct you either.
We're going with Hayani today. So Hayani Dos Santos, she tried, right? She attempted 6 takedowns in this fight. She only landed 1 of 6 of those, and she got outstruck for her troubles 2-1 damn near. 79 to 159 on total strikes, 78 to 154 on significant strikes. I mean, Alice Ardeline looked like somebody that was out there to prove a point. She entered this fight at 9-7, which is damn near a 500 fighter, right? Like, not the best record, especially if you're at the upper echelon of competition in the UFC. And she went out there and she put it on the opposition. I thought this was, lo and behold, her best performance inside the UFC octagon. And dare I say, I'm excited to see what Alice Ardeline goes out there and does next. S-Dogs, since I know you're a huge fan of women's MMA, how did this fight make you feel?
Boys, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This brought me to women's MMA a bit closer. Now, the main event, did it bring it down a bit? A tad bit. Not gonna lie to you. The main event did absolutely ruin the vibes. Just got to keep it real, dogs. You got to keep it real. Also, Macy Chiasson and Caitlin Bejerra, also a bit shaky. But to start off the card and to start off women's MMA for the first time in 2 weeks, I am not mad at this at all. Was this fight of the night?
They got the bonus for performance of the night.
They got the bonus for fight of the night, yeah. They each got 50K.
They deserved it. Bro, they went out there and let it hang, son. I think that was a great fight. You're about to get some banger analysis from either one of these two gentlemen you toss it up to, but I'm just going to tell y'all this, people. Overall, that was a great way to start off the night. Now, the night did get real weird after this, but people, this was an absolute scrap.
Nano, what you got, man?
I appreciate that, S-Dog. Great intro and great to have everybody here. We see Trigger D, we got Robert X. It's a legendary group here. Juice Man, as always. So I'm excited to dive on in here. Let us know how y'all were feeling. But yeah, like you mentioned, fight of the night, absolute backyard barn burner. It was one of those where I don't typically do this with the wife, but I'm sitting there watching them. I'm like, babe, you got to come see this. Like, come over here, come watch these women beat each other up. She's like, oh my God, they're really going to town on each other. I said, you were right, baby. It was a fun one, man. Yeah, I had to bring the wife in, let her know this is a violent fight. You don't always see this to start the night as well. Yeah, it really set the tone. Although, like S-Dog said, it was some ups and downs. I think that's probably the ultimate, I guess, just reaction, ultimate feeling from this card. Great way to start it. Some ups and downs, some great finishes, and 2 badass women. I mean, Alice's pace throughout that entire fight was just absurd, and her ability to weather the storm. You know, Hayani was definitely in there trying to mix them up, but just man, Alice looked like a beast. I mean, obviously physically imposing, but man, was that a beauty to watch. Crossover. I don't know if anything stood out to you, my brother, but any big takeaways that as this first night of the card with some fireworks. What were your thoughts?
Man, my biggest takeaway was just like the last few weeks, man, women's MMA has been delivering, bro. We've been getting some really good fights from the ladies and respect to them for going in there and just absolutely getting after it. Great way to start the card. Alex just went out there and went after it. And Dos Santos didn't back down at all. Like, this was a really competitive fight, the most competitive fight on the card, and was actually a lot of fun. Like, this is one of those fights where, you know, you introduce somebody skeptical to it and they're like, oh wow, like the girls get after it like this. And that's how you can bring someone in slowly. But it was a great fight though. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, it was a great way to start the card. It really kind of set the tone, set the pace, as Nano said. And man, first things first, shout out the Rambling Dad. Love seeing you in the live. Man. Let's go. Actually getting to tune in live for once. Love to see it. But this comment is why I started laughing in the middle of Crossover's breakdown. Bro, I got my girl hyped for Macy and Blanche. Made her watch all the Journey episodes just so it could fall out. Wow, I was laughing. Juice, that's tough, man.
I know. Hey, you're gonna hear about that for a while, Juice Man. You're gonna hear about that for a while.
Oh, bro. Hey, that's never happened. Has that ever happened, boys, where the main events fell out moments? Like, bro, they were doing the highlight. They were showing us the hype film, and then out of nowhere, we were on the stream, boys. Me, Crossover, and Olin, Nano, crushed.
Oh, the live reactions must have been absurd.
Oh,
Brother,
bro,
like,
it was,
What's going on?
So funny.
bro.
It was so funny.
Because
It
you
was
know when
amazing.
we're watching, like we don't have the audio on, so we can't hear what's going on.
Yeah.
So like I'm muting the mic, trying to listen to hear what I'm like. Oh, bro, the fight is off.
Like it's not happening. Like what?
No, because on mute, no, you just see the hype film, and out of nowhere it cuts to DC, Laura, and Brendan, and you're like, "What the fuck's going on right now?"
That ain't
Like
right.
Laura,
Yeah.
Laura looked confused. Brendan he always looks like Fitz, right? Like
Yeah.
he's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's always got the same
Yeah.
even kill face. DC though, like being a man from the South, we don't raise good liars, bro. Like
DC,
as soon as they told
bro.
homie the fight was off, DC's like
yeah, his whole body language switched up, bro.
he slumped down in the chair. Like
Yeah.
that's when I knew. I saw DC's face. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
It's happening. It's
Like,
happening.
Which one pulled out? What happened? Man, that was tough. Cross, I'll come to you first on this one. And we don't have to play matchmaker for every one of these. I know she's, still very, very fresh in the UFC, in my opinion, is Alice. But do you have a name on the tip of your tongue after that win over Hayani?
I honestly do not right now, but if you come back to me, I will have it for you. Give me a minute.
Nano, we'll throw you in the hot seat next.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I mean, was this her first fight in the UFC in the strawweight division? If so, I mean, that was a great debut, great testament. Honestly, looking at the top 15, I don't know if that's maybe too aggressive. Maybe somebody in the top 25 would be a good stepping stone for Alice, but she's definitely earned some stripes in my book. Like that was a hell of a performance.
Not her
She even
first
seemed
fight,
nice.
but it was
Okay,
her
great.
first win in the division in the UFC.
Okay. Which is a big deal. Maybe anybody in the top 25. I don't, crossover's point, I don't have a name top of mind, but I would just say anybody that's notable and that's maybe willing and able to fight later this fall would be a good matchup for her. I'd love to see her get back in there ASAP. That was a hell of a performance in my book. You're in defending your boy. I don't know if anyone else has any other names, but
I got one now.
Oh, go ahead, Cross. I want to hear yours.
Jessica Andrade. She
I was
needs to win badly.
Bro, I was gonna say her or Angela Hill, Cross. I swear to God, I was gonna.
You really
say
want to
Jessica
throw her
Andrade
right
or
on
Angela
up
Hill.
there.
Dog.
Well, I'm saying like Jessica Andrade she been getting torn apart here lately, bro. So I
And
don't
it's a
really
big
know.
name.
I mean, they're
Yes,
less
man.
known strawweights, bro. She's only fought a Shauna Bannon and a freaking Melissa Martinez before this.
Hey,
I was thinking like a Shi Ming business, Dr. Sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to see Shi Ming get back in there. I feel like size-wise, they match up pretty well.
Good call. That's a good call.
Yeah, you
And
probably
like
do Shi
they're
Ming
both
on
builder
that.
names, right? Like
Yeah.
winner should get like an Andrade, in my opinion. Because to your tune, she does need a win. Oh, Trigger.
I like Trigger.
Trigger,
I like
you
Trigger
nasty
D.
son of a bitch.
I like that.
Give her
I like
Pooja.
that.
I'm not mad at
Oh,
that,
yes.
bro.
That's
Yes.
good. I like that.
Yes.
Pooja was on the short list when I was coming up with names before I narrowed it down. I like Pooja
That's
a
a
lot.
good one.
And we know India's really looking for someone to root for in this sport, folks. So winnable fight for both gals. I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. Another fight that I was with, but somewhat wrong about, right? I bet on the right guy. I just bet on the wrong way. We had a lightweight bout between Balaji Oki. That's how I used to say it until watching John Anik pronounce it and then listening to the Fighter File. And he says it Bolaji. So, I mean, I ate a bowl of G's this morning for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be ready for this show. It is Bolaji Oki coming in against Michael Aswell. And, Michael didn't do as well as he thought he was going to in there against Bola G. Bad jokes all day. I'm going to go to crossover on this one first. Did this fight go the way you thought it did? Or if not, what did you learn?
So it didn't go how I was expecting. Like I picked Oki going into the fight, but I thought he would get a finish taking Aswell taking the fight on such short notice. But the biggest takeaway for me that I got from this fight, I'm curious to see what you guys think. I don't think Oki has like much power in his hands. Like he was landing some shots on Aswell and the guy was just eating him. I'm like, bro, does he just not have power like that? So I just think he's just one of those guys that just doesn't have big time power like that. That's pretty much what I got.
before we pass it off to Sterling here, I will just chime in and say this. I agree with you, but playing devil's advocate, Aswell's never been finished in his MMA career. His only 3 losses have come by way of decision. So could be a bit of the case of the immovable force or the immovable object versus the unstoppable force, right? He could have power in his hands. He could have just met a guy with a granite-like chin. However, he was landing those shots pretty damn flush.
And didn't even hurt the guy.
And old boy was walking through them.
Yes,
so,
bro,
yeah, Sterling,
like
are we crazy? Or, I mean, what's happening with the power here?
Well, it's weird, like you said, bro, because Aswell is a fucking dog. But, I mean, Oki was hitting him with some, it sounded like bombs. You thought that should have put him out, like Cross was saying. But, bro, I think this fight was kind of hard to live up to after that women's scrap. Because you know your boy, I completely didn't spend too much time on the first women's fight. But I was pumped for this one. And I think after watching the women go out there and do some Dan Hooker, Dustin Poirier shit, I think it was hard for them to try to live up to that. But to Crossover's point, he should have got the finish a couple times in that fight. But as well, to your point, Owen, it's just a fucking dog, brother. So, I mean, shout out Oki, though, for getting the job done, man. The Zulu Warrior, some would say, brother.
I like it. The Zulu Warrior, indeed. And he is a warrior. He went out on his shield. I mean, he looked like a freaking warrior. I think that was my big takeaway, and why maybe I felt a little underwhelmed was because going in, I'm like, this guy looks like he's going in to go murder somebody, and I love it. I was so hyped up. A lot of energy, like you said, maybe kind of flattened out after that big fight initially. But Michael's ability to move and some of it was almost unnecessary. I'm trying to think of the person that was doing the feints from like a mile away, Jim Carrey style. But it almost was, a little too much movement, but he was able to keep it the entire 15 minutes. I think Michael does have a chin. I think that pressure and just constant movement might have slowed Balaji down. Frankly, I think he kind of gassed out a little bit, took his foot off the gas in that third round. Does he have power? I mean, half of his wins are by knockout, so he's always a shot to do it, but this is at the highest level, the highest caliber guys. Michael's a good example of that, even though he's still kind of new in the UFC, proved to be talented. Like, he was going tit for tat. He landed over 100 strikes on Balaji as well. Like, the differential, round per round, like it was a really competitive matchup. I think just like the odds suggest, a lot of us thought Balaji was going to go in there and dog walk this dude. Like Crossover said, short notice. Like, who is this guy, Michael? But when you look at the Dana White, I think it was Dana White Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter, one of those shows, looked like an absolute dog there. So it's like he obviously just has that in him. But it was a fun one. I think Balaji, a lot to look forward to. I mean, gosh, he looks so gosh darn talented. Everything's there, right? I think you just maybe want to see some tactical changes throughout a fight like that. But hey, you get the job done. You can't ask for much more. What would you say there, MMA Anomaly, if you're maybe reflecting here on perhaps a lackluster or just not the exciting finish maybe some of us were expecting it from Balaji? How'd you feel about BO?
So it's funny that Cross started it off. Firstly, great analysis from all three of you guys. I always appreciate having any of you guys on, let alone all three of you. What shocked me is that Cross opened it up talking kind of negatively about Bolaji's power, right? I watched that fight live and I saw the same strikes land, and I was just thinking, fuck, man, this dude Aswell, he's just got a strong chin. Like, he's in it. He's got recovery time like Dustin Poirier. Yeah, I'm here. Let's go, baby. Let me adjust my shorts. We're still in it. It was nice to see. Like, the kid was a dog. What shocked me the most and what stood out to me the most, what I learned the most, is Bolaji is very, very young as far as his professional career and his professional tenure, and he's got a lot to learn. I think he has the skills to pay the bills. I think he has what he needs. It's just up here, right? He hasn't reached that fight prime where the brain is just as good as the body. Right now, the body's great. The brain, I think he needs to work on, go back to the well, because can we just backtrack to September last year? He fought Chris Duncan, who I think is better than Aswell, leaps and bounds better, right? And yes, he lost that fight, but he was winning it up until the moment he lost it. He was up almost 3-1 on total strikes, folks. Oh, and by the way, he landed 2 of 3 takedowns over Chris Duncan, who he stuffed the sole takedown of Chris Duncan. Chris is a better striker. He's a better grappler. He's a better fighter than Aswell. And I say this with zero disrespect to Aswell. I say this with all due respect to Chris Duncan. Why didn't Bola G shoot a single takedown in this fight? Why was there not one attempted takedown?
He's probably tired.
But do it early in the fight.
Yeah,
He's obviously stronger than the other guy. You shoot a takedown, you sap whatever he brings to the table, the speed, the energy, the granite chin. You get a man tired, you'll make an honest man out of anybody. And I promise you, if you get a man tired, you'll knock any man out.
Very true.
I can see a little bit of that being from him shooting that takedown to Chris Duncan fight and getting submitted as well.
I'm so happy
Yeah.
that you're on, Cross, because I was hoping like one of you guys is going to pick that up. Like, that's the whole point I'm alluding to. I think that Chris Duncan fight may have fucked him up a little bit.
A little bit gun shy.
It made him gun shy. Exactly. Yeah. Like you see someone snap their leg doing a leg kick. They're not rushing to throw a leg kick in the next few fights.
Mm-hmm.
You see someone get subbed or gillied from shooting a blast double. They're not shooting a double leg anytime soon. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we saw with Bola G. I think he could have won this fight far more dominantly, but he was a bit gun shy on some of the tools that kind of brought him to the table otherwise. So
should have threw the body a bit more too, especially after noticing that Aswell's chin is absolutely granite. Should have maybe tried to get a liver shot in there or two, but I get it, bro. In that moment, you're just like, what the fuck, man? I'm hitting this dude with everything, and he's just walking me down. Like, that is so that sucks, bro. Like, I'm trying to think of the word. It's like not intimidating, but it's discouraging as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. Hey, but I mean, good fight though. Like I said, it's just hard to live up after that first fight being an absolute war. And then you go to that.
Are you trying to correct me, Rambling Dad, right now on how to say this dude's name, bro? Literally, go listen to the sound file of him saying his own name. It's Bola G.
Olin Sonnen over here. This dude. Hey.
Nah, dude. If I was Sonnen, I'd be saying Bolaji Akai.
Yeah.
That's more of a chill Sonnenization.
Bolaji Acai.
Yeah.
Acai. I'm pretty sure they eat that over in Brazil. Acai. Yeah.
Hey, shout out Chael Sonnen, man. Shout out Chael Sonnen. Ultimate Fighter tomorrow, boys. Ultimate Fighter, Chael Sonnen DC. Let's go.
Ooh.
Episode
stoked,
2.
Baby. I'm literally trying to work on a new intro for the Tough Talk show, the post-fight show that we do for that.
And I will be streaming it. I will be doing a watch along for it.
Yeah.
Everybody make sure that you tune into that.
Make sure you tune in.
Makhachev. Islam Makhachev and Alex Piera. This name's a great dude. Oh. So when it comes to the lightweight, Bola G Oki, does anybody have a name on the tip of their tongue? Anybody dying to go first on this?
I thought he was a featherweight. Go ahead, Cross.
I got kind of a low key fun fight. I think if it were to happen, I don't think it will happen, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. And this will tell me where y'all at if y'all recognize this name. But Narulo Aliyev, the guy from, is it Tajikistan? Is that where he's from?
Yeah, I believe he's from Tajikistan.
Yeah, like I feel like those two together would be a very fun little scrap.
Is it Tajikistan or is it Kazakhstan that he's from? I know exactly who you're talking about.
His nickname is a Tajik Eagle, so he must be Tajikistan.
Yep, that's him.
10-0.
Yeah, that's him. That dude's a beast.
I'm gonna go on a limb. Yeah. Stud.
Yeah, because bro, he's not ready for no top 15. I don't think, boys. When you look at the top 15, it's Benoit St. Denis at 13. You know what I'm saying? Grant Dawson 14, Joe Alvarez 15, Chandler 12. Like I don't think he's ready for them type of guys. So I think what Cross said is fucking perfect. That's two young dogs having another war. I think
so. My only kind of problem with that pick, and Nano has heard me say this a ton. So if you don't want to hear the freaking broken record situation here, Nano, earmuffs, buddy. What's up? You're dying over here. What's happening?
Oh man, Jigga put Drew Dober, and I just started dying, bro. Because Drew Dober only
versus Dober or Green. I mean,
yeah.
Banger.
Dover,
He's not wrong.
Dover versus Oki, man. Y'all trying to do bad things to Oki. Do you know what Dover does?
Dude,
to
wait,
black dudes,
hold
man?
on. They're trying to do bad things to Oki? That's the point I was about to go on. You're trying to do bad things to Oki. Do you, I mean, like, you recommended Aliev, the Tajik Eagle. This dude is the guy that literally sent Rafael Alves out of the UFC into karate combat.
Oh,
And since then, that dude's been murking people in karate combat.
But Dover murks black dudes, dog. Like,
Brother,
Gary
Dober fought the guy I just mentioned and almost got knocked out by him. That has one of the coolest highlights of him doing the fucking robot while dodging Dober's strikes. I mean, right before he got knocked the fuck out, but still.
Yeah, exactly.
He did get blasted. He was doing the robot and then went error, and went down. It was bad. But I'm telling you, bro, like Nurullo Aliev, he's had, what, 2 fights in the UFC?
Mhm.
His first fight was Rafael Alves, and his second fight was fucking Joe Selecki.
Oh damn!
I feel like my only issue is both of these guys you're talking about, Aliev and Bolaji, they're kind of bright shining stars in my opinion, or have the potential to become that. You're instantaneously burning one of those stars out with this matchup.
You burn them out. You putting them in there with Dober too.
Yeah.
Dog, Dober against black dudes, man, is Captain America, dog.
8-0. 8-0.
I mean,
Those aren't fake
8-0.
numbers. Those are real
Jeez.
numbers.
he is, yeah. Dober against black dudes is literally equivalent to Danish Dynamite Nicholas Dalby against Brazilians.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Like, there are mythical fighters like that. Like, you can add both of those guys to the mythical fighters list, right? Like, they're up there with Sea Level Kane and salon quality Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah, it is. I mean, numbers don't lie, brother. Numbers don't
Fair
lie.
enough.
I'm just saying, every Dustin win in recent years was when he actually had like the slicked comb over. He shaves his head. It's a loss.
But I miss the old school Poirier. I miss the bald prison look Poirier, bro.
He brought it back for the Islam fight. Didn't go well.
Hey, he almost got it done though. If Islam doesn't hit that trip, if Islam don't hit that trip, who
Yeah,
knows?
that's literally what he said to me. It was heartbreaking.
Who knows?
It's fucking heartbreaking.
If he doesn't hit that trip, brother,
Who did you pick in that fight, Owen?
I didn't pick in that fight. I picked myself. I picked my sanity. All right. I picked buying cage side tickets.
What are we doing here?
No. I picked Dustin Poirier. I lost money after already losing money on the tickets, you know?
Fair.
The reason I asked
You
because I
double
know how
down.
you feel about Islam, so I had that.
I love Islam. That's why it was hard to ever bet against him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fair enough.
Another factor by Trigger too, when Zombie did have the comb over as well, the Korean Zombie was the man.
Come over.
That dates all the way back to the Korean zombie fight anomaly. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Shout out to Zombie.
That's what I'm saying. Trigger knows the facts.
Shout out to Zombie, brother. Shout out Trigger.
Telling you. All right, let's go ahead and move on from this Bola G fight because the next one is one
so
where I have to
sad.
pour a shot for. I'm so sad. It was a lightweight bout between Kurt the Hurt Halapa, Halapa, coming in against Jordan Levitt. And man, after watching that fight, I just want to leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? It was a tough one to watch. It was just a minute and 39 seconds in. It was very, very fast, very, very slick submission. And the worst part about it was, I don't know if you guys saw this, but when Kurt woke up, the ref had to tell him that he had lost and that he went to sleep. You literally see him like look at the ref and go, "What? I went to sleep?"
Mm-hmm. Kevin Lee, Charles Oliveira.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, same thing, bro.
Mm.
It's hard to see that, bro. It's
That's
like saying that,
tough.
like what Joseph Benavidez did against Figgy when he woke up screaming, like that, bro. That,
Brother, this is a deep cut. This is probably before your time. You remember War Machine? Guy that went to jail. He was dating that one porn star.
Bro,
He was on, I think, the Tough finale. Shout out Tough.
Yep.
Against a dude named J-Rock, I believe.
Yep,
Tough
J-Rock.
dude with the mohawk.
Yep.
They had beef the whole season, and they ended up going at it. J-Rock split War Machine's head open with like fucking down elbows while he was underneath him and on top of him. And I remember throughout the last 2 rounds, War Machine's head, every time he would lean forward, would just ooze, like pour like a faucet of blood. And then he landed, I think it was a 2-3-4. Just And J-Rock went down like a fucking sack of potatoes. And I remember him waking up and he looks at the ref and he's like, what happened? And the ref said, you got knocked out. And he's like, what? He's covered in his opponent's blood. He's not even bleeding. And he's like, I what? Like, that was so tough.
Oh, come
to see,
on.
bro.
There's one.
His shorts were a different color because of the amount of his opponent's blood that was on him. And he's like, I what? Dude.
Just a flesh wound.
I think the knockout I remember. I think Sam Patterson got knocked out kind of bad against as Moose fight this weekend. And when he came together, like he was trying to like defend the clinch and like defend takedowns against the ref, bro. Like he was not there at all, bro. Like it was brutal.
He instantly like grabbed for a leg at the ref. I remember that.
Yep.
That was bad.
Yep.
That was tough. Well, cheers, folks. If you drink, raise one up. I got this one wrong, so I'm raising one up. Oh, Nano's gonna go grab one. Look, I bet on Kurt, and it was a mistake, man. It was a mistake. I still would do it again though, because obviously I'm a degenerate. So cheers to that, folks. And cheers to each and every one of you. There's almost 60 of you folks tuning in right now in the middle of the damn day. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already done it, like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. You know the drill, folks. Cheers to that.
Salud.
Cheers to you.
Halabat.
Woo, woo.
Dude, real quick before we got into it, Jordan Levitt maybe versus Oki should be a shout out there. I mean, the Monkey King Jordan Levitt versus Oki, I wouldn't be mad at that too, bro. Because Jordan Levitt's been in the UFC now since before the COVID days. Like he hasn't been that active recently. He fights like once or twice a year. I don't know why, but dude, he always puts on interesting ass fights, boys. And Kurt Holloway, bro, is a motherfucking dog. Let's never forget the Jason Knight fight. So it was hard to see our boy lose, Olin. It was fucking hard.
Kurt's also is he a brown belt or a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Because he's not like fresh when it comes to time on the mats. He's got a lot of time logged on the mats, and he's a very high level proficient Jiu-Jitsu artist. I thought this fight was gonna be a lot harder for Levitt, but he sliced through the guard like a hot knife through butter. It was tough to see. Once he got on top, it was tough to see because you almost felt that it was the beginning of the end, even before he locked in that submission.
Mm-hmm.
But once he got under the neck, you could instantaneously see Kurt Holloway's face changing color, getting bright red. And yeah, that was tough, man. That was tough. But I'm not mad at that shout, S-Dogs. I think Jordan Levitt versus a Bolaji Aoki would definitely be a fun one. I also feel like Levitt, having fought the Paddy Pimbletts of the world, like maybe he's past that kind of I have to welcome up-and-comers phase. And with a big win over a former Tough alum like this, that does have a little bit of namesake, that has had not one but two runs in the UFC, it might be time to put a little bit more respect on his name and give him another chance at top 15. Cross, what were your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, man. Like Levitt he made quick work of Holloway going in. Like for me, it was more so I was expecting Holloway to like keep it on the feet for a little while and try and like come forward, back Jordan Levitt up, but that is definitely not how it went. It was one-way traffic. Levitt just went right through him and made it look very easy. I think that was probably like Jordan Levitt's best performance in the UFC. Like it was very impressive for sure.
A very mature performance. Nano, what'd you think, man?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And Manalmi, good breakdown as well, crossover. I mean, that's what we saw, right? Quick work, dominant, basically jumped across the octagon while they're still dry. I think that's the big thing here. They didn't, Kurt Holloway really didn't get a chance to get going, right? He's more of a downhill fighter in the sense of, he needs to kind of get the ball rolling a little bit. Then once he does start pouring it on you, it's over. But he really couldn't get out the gate. And it's because Jordan Levitt is a problem. He's deceptively strong. And I think you really see it in those like specific positions. I'm not a specialist on the ground, but in layman's terms, just his ability to go out there and just control his opponent, got to where he needed to get, and then obviously putting the lights out for our boy Kurt Holloway now. Woo woo. unfortunately. And it wasn't even the worst sleep or submission of the night. We're going to dive into that a little later. There was another one that was pretty scary. But, to give our boy Jordan Levitt his respect, I think top 15 was mentioned. That's a little too rich for my blood. Okay, a little too rich for my blood. He's still, to me, just still like a man, this doesn't sound mean. One-dimensional in a way, though it is very dominant. I'm just saying he's with all due respect. Let me just put it that way. But I think, man, I don't know what's going to go on with like a Jim, A10 Miller, MF and Miller, someone that actually does have a good ground game. Maybe they could pose some more threats, or even like a Mike Beast Boy Davis, both sitting in like the mid 30 range. That's probably sweet. That's more of what I think I'm looking for. That's more my cup of tea. But let me know how y'all are feeling. Or I think S-Dog, you got, what are your thoughts here? I think sounds like you like those names.
Bro, I like that Mike Davis fight a lot, actually. That makes a lot of fucking sense, bro. Both dudes been in the UFC for a minute now, even before the COVID days, bro. Kind of will win one, win two, lose one, lose two. Bro, I like that a lot. That's a fun scrap. I think overall, that ends up delivering, son. What a shout for full Canano there, brother. I like the Monkey King versus Mike Beast Boy Davis all day.
Those are fun fights. The names that I had on the tip of my tongue are Ludovic Klein, coming off a loss.
Not bad.
Right? Both fought the same night, so they have that same trajectory lined up. Other than that, I mean, this one's kind of a bit of a polar opposites matchup, right? You got one man that twerks inside of the cage typically on any given Saturday, and you got another man who used to kill people for a living. Jordan Levitt versus Benny St. Denny.
No.
Monkey King versus God of War.
He dies. I think that's, bro. I don't think he can handle the power.
I think Jordan Levitt beats Benny St. Denny.
What?
Yes,
bro.
I think he wraps him up. I think stylistically, it's a bad matchup for him.
Bro, I think he puts Jordan Levitt on the outer.
Brother, I love Dustin Poirier. He is my favorite fighter of all time. I've got the little like hand knitted fucking gift from Sav Jelly right back there of Dustin Poirier. So I say this with all due respect. Dude has attempted a Gilly in like 80% of his professional fights, and he's got a shit ton of professional fights. Has never once pulled it off. He's only ever come close twice. That was against Khabib.
He had staff.
And that was against Benny St. Denny.
He
almost got it like 3 times against Benny St. Denny. And that's when they were slippery already.
But let's not forget, Benny did have staff, and Benny was.
When doesn't he, bro? He's had staff for his last 3 fights, S-Dog.
Yeah, that's a good point. Them boys are nasty.
Clean the fucking mats, bro.
Yeah, them boys are nasty out there. Them boys
clean the mats.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
The name I got for
I've trained for like 10 years. I've never gotten staff. Like, knock on wood, but fucking like clean the mats, bro.
Yeah, knock on wood for real.
The guy
I'm sorry, I'll never
Jordan
understand.
Levitt is actually I think this would be good just because it's going to be strength on strength. Chase Hooper.
Oh, what a shout! What a shout! Chase.
Have they not fought before?
They have fought before.
Chase submitted him in the first round. Yep. 2 years ago, 2023.
Oh, okay. Was that
on Allen versus Krieg.
Was that Paul Krieg? Was that 155 or 145?
That was a 155 Apex card.
Oh, really, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
in November at the end of 2023. So fairly recent.
That's not bad.
Yeah, Chase has only gotten stronger, so I think the fight would probably go worse.
My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. It just hit
No, you're good.
Jim Miller, Jordan Levitt?
That's what Nato said a second ago too. He didn't suggest it as a fight. He more so said like I'd be curious to see how I'd fare against an A10 Miller.
I like it.
That'd be fun.
That's a fun fight.
Is Clay Guida still in the UFC?
That'd be
I think Guida might be
interesting
done.
match.
I think
Okay,
Guida
he
might
might
be
be
done.
done. Okay.
Yeah, I think Chase Hooper sent him off to pasture.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Ooh, trick. I like that too. BSD versus Flash Gordon's a fun shout.
Good fight. That's a good fight.
Yeah. Fight Sports Talk said the UFC keeps getting worse this year. You know what? I'll die on this hill. There was a time when we'd have 1 fight card a month, and 1 out of 2 of them or 1 out of 3 of them would be good. I will gladly take having 4 fight cards a month and having like 50% of them be cards that people talk shit about that still deliver more often than not.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
Better
What I
than
will say, and real quick, what I will say to that, Fight Sports Talk, you may not be wrong. I'm with you. I'm not going to necessarily tell you you're wrong there, but I want you to answer the question here, Fight Sports Talk. How do you feel about June's card? Or how do you feel about all the cards this upcoming June? Okay, do you still feel that kind of way? Because I'm telling you, it might have been a little bit of a dip, but like this roller coaster goes up, we're going to enjoy the ride, baby. That means some fun times are coming.
And
So,
let me tell you,
let me know how you're feeling, because we are going to be spoiled rotten this month. Let's go.
brother, to dog pile on top of that point, if you're walking in the desert and you're thirsty, would you rather have dirty water or no water?
That's easy.
Give me that dirty water, brother. That's going to be the
Absolutely.
tastiest shit I ever had. Every now and then, I'm going to be able to close my eyes and pretend it's the best water I've ever had in my entire life. This might be the cleanest water I've ever had in my mouth. And that's how some of these fight cards make us feel, right? Like, who's to say that if we actually did get a main event on Saturday, that it wouldn't have fucking delivered? Maybe it would have. Maybe it would have been a bloody war. The first fight was not one that people were talking about before, certainly, but it's the one we're all talking about after. So you got to give these fights a chance, man. More often than not, it's the fights on the undercard that no one's talking about that out deliver the pay-per-view. So yeah, I will always die on that hill that more often than not, the fights are good. And I'm from a time where we'd have one fight card a month, and most of the time you didn't know where the fuck you were going to be watching it. Was it on Spike? Was it on Facebook? Was it on YouTube? Like, where are the fights showing? How do you even watch the prelims? At least now they're on one centralized place for us. It's become a pretty nice, very spoiling place as an MMA fan. So I'm with it. And I mean, if there's anybody I can speak to on this that knows better, S-Dogs can speak to the fact that if you're an MMA fan or you're just a fan of striking, you want to see Muay Thai, wake up early and watch one, man.
It's the best. It's the best. One
Like,
championship's
if you just want Muay Thai, there are Muay Thai fights that are fantastically produced. They play them on Amazon. They play them on YouTube. Like,
It's the best, bro.
so speaking of fights that are the best, speaking of fights that do deliver, this maybe was not one of them, right? It was a flyweight bout between Jafel Fialho and Alan Nascimento, and I did get this one wrong. I thought Jafel Fialho had fought the better opposition, was going to be able to come in here and out-veteran his opponent. But hey, Vegas knew something I didn't, and it's that no matter how good Jafel is on top, he's exponentially worse on bottom and doesn't know how to get up, apparently. S-Dogs, I'm going to come to you first on this one. Like, what stood out to you? What surprised you about this fight? Did you get this one right?
I'll be honest. I had Rafael going into this. Bro. But oh shit, I just smoked that. But I'll tell you what, the first round was not bad. These boys came out the first round. Me and Cross and Leroy were kind of watching this in the background because we didn't want Yao's Dog of the Week to win. But we were watching this a little bit, and 100% Ja failed. But 1,000%, Trigger. But bro, all day. That deserves that sound all day. But the first round was not bad, boys. The second and third round was a lot of just holding it down to see if I can scrape by and get this dub today. But like you said, bro, it's definitely not one we're gonna remember. But the first round wasn't too bad, boys. And shout out Jafael, these two boys are about to give y'all some John Anik breakdowns about it, though. So tune in.
No.
Okay. I saw the upwards point. I should have assumed that was me. I appreciate the dish out here as dog. Appreciate the assist. Yeah, like you said, I don't want to say forgettable and be too disrespectful here, but definitely a lower volume affair. And if you're looking at just the X's and O's, you would assume maybe Jafel might have been the one to get it done. Feel me, but the judges did not feel me on that one. They were looking at it, I think maybe with the reversals, maybe counting as extra points. But to me, as just a fun viewer, not really putting my judging cap on, and it kind of made me think, coming from a boxing background, like, sometimes a draw might even be the best scenario in some of these fights where it's just like really hard to decide, or maybe we find out a way to do like another round, a shorter round where, whoever wins that definitively is the winner. It just, again, coming off some more exciting fights before this, and just in general, I think there's two styles we saw here today, or Saturday night, I should rephrase. Yeah, I mean, again, Jafel on paper did a lot of things to win. But overall, I mean, we're talking 70 strikes total between the two guys over 15 minutes. You know, it was not a high octane affair, but it was a fight. And, you know, Alan was able to get it done. But I was a little surprised, if I'm being honest. I guess, again, just the reversals must have been, and the control time, I'm sure, were the difference makers. Anything else you want to touch on here? Crossover, was that kind of how you saw it playing out? Or, what were your takeaways here, my brother?
Basically the same thing. I mean, to me, Nascimento in the second round, like he figured out that once they got on the ground, he was like, oh, I got an advantage here. Like I can get him down here and I can get the win. And that's smart fight IQ, man. Guys doing what they need to do to get the win, man. At the end of the day, you go in there to win. So, good job, especially after the layoff for Nascimento. Like I think he had been out maybe 1-2 years. So, a little bit of rust on the tires, but he got the job done.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, this, like I said, this fight is not one that we're ever going to go back and rewatch for fun, right? Like right before the show, shout out S-Dogs. He was sitting there watching a very old fight between Tim Kennedy and Yoel Romero. I love you, Michael. I love you, boy. What a fun fight. Stoolgate, right? Watergate, Breakgate, whatever the fuck gate you want to call it. Either way, it was a weird fight. This was another weird fight like that, right? Nano, if you look at it on paper, 4 takedowns to 1. I'm giving that to the guy with 4. 40 total strikes to 30. Leaning with the guy that's got the 10 plus strike differential here. And 14 significant strikes to 12. Again, I'm leaning with the guy that got 14 over 12. All 3 of those winning stats were for Rafael Fialho. I mean, the issue is he was backing up for a lot of the fight and he was on his back for a lot of the fight. So when the fight was standing, he was doing really well. And he landed 4 takedowns. Sure. His opponent landed 1. Sure. His opponent swept and reversed him literally like it was a white belt versus a black belt in there. It was bad. Once Alan got on top, it was one-way traffic, or as one way as it gets in there. There was no attempts to get up other than the one butterfly, I believe, in round 2 from Jafel. And the butterfly worked. Like he butterflied out. I think he made Alan do like a fucking like a reverse front flip. It was weird as hell, or a reverse back flip. And he got up, but then he just abandoned trying to get up and instead tried to land strikes. It's always got to be position over damage and position over submission. Like get yourself to a better position, then focus on dealing damage and dealing strikes. Like Sterling, you've had fights. You understand this, right? Like if someone's on top of you, the mission from that point on is not, I'm going to throw strikes and try and hurt them from the bottom. No, because even if you get lucky, it's going to take you 10 to do what they do in 1. Fucking work to get back to your feet, brother. You're not throwing strikes from the bottom. That's not what we do. So again, this was a skill deficit, or not a skill deficit problem. I think it was a mentality deficit problem. Maybe a bit of a skill deficit as well, because again, on the mats, it looked like one man trains full encompassing jiu-jitsu and the other man trains being on top in jiu-jitsu. And that's not a way to do it, right? It's not a way to do it. You got to know every aspect of it. So great look for Alan Nascimento. I mean, the dude is a stud in the flyweight division, and he showed that. Coming out to Bon Jovi was certainly a choice. Like,
Banger.
love to see. I like it. And he like lip synced the entire time, which was just, again, certainly a choice. Love to see it. I have 2 names on the tip of my tongue for this guy, though. I would love to see him get a step up. I really would. I think all of us can agree to that. But, I mean, we can work our way down because, look, he's not ready for Pantoja, right? Number 1. That's just not feasible. And Brandon Moreno, obviously sitting too high. So is Royval and Kai Kara France. Can we all just rule those out? Yeah? Not a heads?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Cool. So everybody else in front of him is booked. Manel's fighting Royval. Tatsuro Taira's fighting Amir Albazi. Amir Albazi's fighting Tatsuro Taira. Just said that. Steve Astro Boy Ursig fighting Alex Perez. Asu Almabayev is fighting Ramazan Tamirov. Tagiro Lembekov is fighting Azat Maxim. Alex Perez is fighting Steve Ursig. Muhammad Makayev is not in the UFC anymore. Josh Van has a fight next weekend against Bruno Silva. Ramazan is fighting Asu, like I said. Like, everybody is tied up. So there's
One
just
got
not
free.
a ton of places that you can go for this guy other than
Yeah, I got one. Let me see.
Wow.
Rafael
free.
Estevam.
Ah, brother, I got another one. Go ahead, Cross. I bet I got a banger one that I'm waiting for you boys to say. I'm gonna see if
The only other guy free, man, is Brandon Moreno.
No, hang on. One more
That's what I
second.
said is you can't step him up to number 2.
Here's who you
Do you want to do that?
No, brother, you give him Charles
No.
you give him Charles Energy Johnson, brother.
Energy got to fight.
Energy got to fight against Loner, bro.
Fuck.
He's fighting
Everybody
Loner
gotta
Kavanaugh.
fight.
That's going to be the flyweight banger of the year.
It is though. Oh my God, him versus Loner. Fuck, it take my mind.
I only wish it was happening sooner for my fantasy season. Because I got
Damn,
Charles.
Then who do we? You got anything? like Cross said, I don't know if he can do Morano, bro. I don't know, bro. I think that's a.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's too big of a bite for him. Like that's number 2 in the world.
That's a motherfucker too.
And he's number 20 on
Yeah.
Tapology. But what's crazy is literally he's number 20 and 19 or sorry, 18 out of 19 in front of him are scheduled.
Hey, man.
That's a hard place to be.
Throw him in there in Guadalajara, man. No trade. Him and Moreno, man. Throw him
Brother,
in there.
you're batshit insane right now. You understand that?
Antonio,
Throw him in there.
baby.
Batshit
Throw
out of
him
your
in there.
mind.
No.
Hey, we gotta turn it over at flyweight, man. We need some new contenders, man.
All right. You don't want to see it? You don't want to see the fucking Rafael Estevam? Then let's just do a little legend builder because we know this, okay? If you beat the young man whose name I'm about to say, you get a title shot. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what your ranking is. If you beat him, you get a title shot. I'm talking about he came out of retirement once. He didn't say he was staying retired after that win. Talking about Matt Danger Snell in Louisiana.
Ooh. I think this is.
That's right.
No,
That's right. Think about that one.
I think that's his.
That
Yeah.
that actually, I like.
I
that
don't want that fight, if I'm being completely honest, because I love Matt.
Yeah.
I don't want that fight. But I also
only
think that Alon might be that dude that's like, yeah, I'm a stud. I could probably stand and just strike with Matt Schnell. And most of the people that make that mistake, it's exactly that. It's a mistake, you know? Unless like you're like a Pantoja or a fucking Steve Ursig. That one too was so crispy. I lose sleep over that.
But on
Speaking of
another
crispy,
note, what do you do with Moreno though?
That's what
mm,
dude. That's a great fucking point. Moreno's in this.
What do
weird-
you do
Moreno's
with
in a weird
Moreno?
spot. He's in a weird spot, bro.
I mean, you got to give him the
He's
loser
playing the
of the Nell
backup.
Cup versus Brandon Royval.
What if it's Roy
just-
Val and we've already seen it?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We've seen him fight the same guy 4 times, and everybody I ask says, "Give it to me a 5th time."
Cool. Let's do
Like
it.
I will always watch that dude do 3 things: get excited about Funko Pops, get excited about Lego sets, and fight another grown man inside of a cage.
Carlos.
yeah, I was say whatever. Don't do what Carlos is recommending.
You saw
Jeez.
Carlos?
Jeez.
Carlos,
Bro, Carlos, man.
Come on, man.
Carlos,
Your name's
how could
Carlos. Come
The
on, man.
sniper. The
Bro, I
sniper.
looked
out of
Carlito.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Carlito,
out of nowhere, bro.
Carlito.
I looked to the right and was like, Carlos.
Carlito.
Shit, Trigger you.
And shout out this comment from Trigger earlier when I was talking about position over submission and trying to land strikes. Punch to pass, pass to punch.
Yeah. And also,
Like-
like what my gang said, Volk had the perfect opportunity to save that card, boys, Saturday. Let's not forget.
He's from a land down under.
Come on, brother.
Man.
Or Dan Ige. Come on, they could. Dan Ige was in their vein.
I mean,
Yeah,
Danny
right.
would have walked in.
yeah.
Drinking beers on the couch. He's like, yeah, I'll fight. Who cares? I definitely know who I'm going with first on this next one. So we make our way into the main card here, folks. It is a middleweight bout between Zachary Reese and Dusko Todorovic.
Boy.
Man, oh Manowitz, my guy, my co-host, the man to my right. If you've been here for a while, you know one of the few man crushes this man has. It's on
my
Zachary
guy.
Reese.
It's my guy. With all due
Oh,
respect, no Diddy. You know the
Brother.
vibes. You know the
Lead us
vibes.
out. Lead us out.
Come on,
Tell
man.
us how you felt watching your guy go out there and get the V. Get the dub.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, man. I did not feel good about it. I did not feel good at any point during that fight. In fact, I thought he lost the first, maybe and/or the second round. There, second round was a toss-up. Third, it was even more brutal to watch. Man, I was nervous. Okay, but he did everything he had to do. He did just enough, right? I think when he actually did decide to use his length and actually deliver a good 1-2 or even something more than that. Like, you know, I love to see the good boxing and chaining together some more combinations. Would have loved to see him do a little bit more of that. But Dusko is a tough son of a gun. He did have his hands low. He basically stood right in front of him there, but they almost fell into this like sparring type pace. Maybe an S-Dog probably talk more to that, where just, I mean, they're hugging, they're laughing at each other. Like, I think Dusko's like, oh, good try there. I'm like, dude, this is too friendly, Mr. Zachary Reese. I need you to go out there and quit being Reese's Pieces so gosh darn sweet. I need you to go out there and whoop some fucking ass, okay? I need you to get angry. I need you to get mean. Yo, it was just like, my guy, come on, get moving.
Great callback to the movie Dodgeball.
There we go. Yes. Once you get angry, what you gonna mean? And that's what I've been telling him, and that's what I'm hoping he continues to do. He said he's been trained in the wrestling. That was evident. He's stuffed a lot of the takedowns. Just want to see a little more aggression and take it out of the judge's hands there, right? Go out there, go find a good finish. Go beat up the dude in front of you. Don't make it as this competitive lovey-dovey sparring match. It just I didn't love that. But and again, I'm being critical because it's some tough love. I love this guy. I mean, I've been rooting for him for a while. I basically got to stand 10 toes down at this point. So again, if he's hearing this somehow in the ether sphere, I'm hoping he just continues to be aggressive, seek those finishes. Like, he's at a point now. You start stringing together some wins, you can really make a name for yourself, and maybe earn yourself some extra cash along the way as well. And some more fans. I mean, come on.
I've been waiting for this.
There we go, baby.
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
It was a fun one, though. I mean, all in all, I just want to see more action. Want to see a little more dominance. But Dusko's a hell of a competitor. I'll dish it over to you, S-Dog. Anything stood out to you, my brother? Any, big takeaways from this middleweight bout?
Training partner of yours, right, S-Dog?
I was just about to say. So I just now recently started training at War Training Center with Coach Adam Copley and Jeremiah out there. Shout out War Training Center in Tomball, Texas, baby. Yes, sir. You know what it is. And I was telling Cross before the show, I was like, bro, look, I haven't necessarily sparred or trained directly with this guy, but I've seen him in the room hitting pads, and it's devastating. Listen to this man's leg kicks, bro, and honestly, Nano, when you see this motherfucker in person, he's huge. No idea how he makes 185, bro. This dude is fucking massive, bro. Some would say me and him are the same height at 6'3", but this dude, honestly, bro, it's got to be walking around at 225, 230, Nano. Big motherfucker, dude. Powerful than a motherfucker as well. And, bro, when Adam Copley holds pads for him, bro, his forearms are burned. So, I mean, I couldn't imagine taking one of those straight to the flesh, son. So, shout out Zachary Reese. I'm glad he got the job done. But like you said, dog, I was nervous as fuck watching him fight Duskov because that dude's a motherfucker, bro. And yes, Juice Man, I am 6'3". Me and Cross, exact same height, identical. Some would say.
Same exact height.
Virtually identical.
Virtually identical. They actually look just alike too. A lot of people think they're related. I'll jump into this one. I'll dish it off the Cross here to take it up last here for us on it. Look, I was definitely nervous about this fight. I thought it was going to go a lot smoother for Zachary Reese because Todorovic usually leaves his head right on the center line to be struck. But round one, Todorovic initiated the bout with a successful takedown, maintained control, and set the pace early on. Reese managed to defend effectively, but he struggled to really create any kind of significant offense from his back in the first round. Round two, Reese came out pretty aggressively, landed two quick hooks, followed by a powerful right hand. You could see the weathering on Todorovic's face immediately when those strikes started to land. It also forced Todorovic to attempt another takedown. Reese successfully defended, but again, Todorovic just kept moving forward. It seemed like Reese didn't have enough to put him away, which was surprising to me because we have seen Todorovic look finishable before. In the third and final round, both fighters looked very, very competitive, but also very, very tired, right? I think what really won Reese the fight is utilizing his reach advantage here and just the slight striking advantage that he did possess. This was a tough fight for Reese, much tougher than I thought it should have been. I've got thoughts on who I think should be next for him, but before we start dishing out names, we'll dish it over to Cross. What stood out to you about the performance of Zachary Reese?
Man, I'm right there with you. I thought this would be one-way traffic for Reese in the fight. Dusko walking forward and just bringing the fight to Reese definitely took me by surprise. And I mean, if you look at Dusko's previous fights, this guy's chin is just up in the air, like, please clip me, please knock me out.
Yeah.
And that's what I was expecting going into the fight. And I mean, it was a much tougher fight for Reese. And after seeing that, I think they definitely need to bring him along slower. Like, don't give him too much too soon. Like, the guy's got knocked out twice brutally in the UFC. So definitely like build him up slowly and see if we got some here.
I got a couple names for y'all right now. If you just want me to go ahead and give you 2 names.
Spit them out.
Let's go.
I like for him, Curtis Action Jackson or Abus. I think he fights either one of those dudes next.
Nah, don't do a boost.
A boost is too far up.
But here's the thing. I get that. Skill-wise, he is better, but a boost ain't knocking nobody out with no one punch.
Bro.
How about Paul Krieg?
But Paul Krieg,
go that route. Go that route.
Paul Krieg gets knocked out by everybody, boys. And that was his first fight at 185.
He needs to knock it.
A bit of credit. We got him a bit of credit there. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Danny Barlow's another banger shot by Trigger.
Dixon Sider.
Barlow's a middleweight? I thought Barlow.
Dixon Sider said maybe he cut the violence off along with his long hair. Hey, bit of a Samson effect there. Maybe that's where he was getting his strength.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Danny Barlow or Curtis Jackson. Now, y'all got me.
Left-handed God?
Not a boost. I like left-handed God or Action Jackson.
Is he a middleweight? Why do I think he's okay? The name I like would be Jacob Malkoun.
Ooh. Oh no, Jacob Malkoun hits bombs, brother.
No, he's a grappler, bro. Grappler.
Malkoun? Bro,
yeah, Jacob Malkoun's a
when he was
grappler.
standing there like this with somebody and banging. You remember that?
Nah, Malkoun's a grappler, dude. Like, he wants to grapple.
Are you sure?
100%.
Yeah, Malkoun's a fun shout.
I like that.
Well, hey,
Malkoun's a very fun shout.
In any matchup that Zachary Reese got a better chance and not getting finished, I'm all in for it.
Facts. That's what I'm saying.
Cody Brundage. So I mean, we gotta be.
Hey, take it easy there, Cross. Cody Brundage got a bit of quit in him, but he is a buffalo. Let's not forget that he is built like a fucking polar bear, brother.
Come on, don't be crazy.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, dude?
I got you.
I know what you're saying.
But
we're on the same team here.
Good fight, though.
All right, folks. With that, we move into the women's featherweight division for a bout that took place between Ketlin Vieira and Macy Chasson. My goodness. We'll come to Crossover first for this one. Cross! Man. Make this fight make sense. What happened?
I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't make sense. There's not much really to say about it. I guess, the winner can now get a title shot at 145. But yeah, like I don't really know what we do with this fight. I don't think either lady is really like going to be challenging for the title in the near future. But good win for Ketlin Vieira. I mean, she definitely did a good job after coming off that Kayla Harrison fight. But I don't really know what really much to say about the fight, honestly.
Wait, did they fight at they fought at featherweight?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. It's a disaster.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna say anything about that one. Oh man. Yeah, this was a slobber knocker to say the least. I think this was my big fear though, like I mentioned last week, is as much as I love Macy Chasson, half because I love saying her name, and she's typically the bigger, stronger, and just better grappler in most of her matchups. But Ketlin is just one of those girls that's just so big and physically imposing and pretty solid when it comes to the ground game in most different positions or whatever the case is, right? And she was able to deploy her game plan on Saturday night, and Macy just really didn't have an answer. And again, I think it just boiled down to the strength. Like, both are high level, both are ranked at the top, and like you mentioned, one of them are probably going to get a potential title shot here in the near future, especially after this upcoming Saturday. There is a matchup that will definitely dictate the future of the division. And Ketlin, I mean, she lost to Kayla. Maybe they run that back. I find that a little unlikely, but you just never know. Or maybe she's the number one contender facing the next up and comer. But Ketlin definitely put herself in a great spot. Macy Chasson needs to get back to the drawing board a little bit. but that's her style. And unfortunately, it's like she just kind of got outstyled, on Saturday. I don't know if anything stood out to you boys, crossover. If, did you see it going down this way, or, what was some of your big takeaways from that matchup?
Let's move it right along to the next matchup.
I was about to say, boys, look, y'all already know.
Everyone went deep on that one. Oh no,
yeah, bro. You are about to say, I don't want to sit here and just make it a negative comment, but I'm right there with Cross. We might as well just go ahead and get straight to some finishes because,
we could definitely do that.
Dustin Jacoby versus Lopez, boys, that was fucking nasty. And how about Jacoby recently coming back sparking fools, bro? He was the one getting sparked, dog. We didn't know how much fights he had left in him. But lately, bro, Jacoby's been on a run, knocking motherfuckers out. I mean, what did you think about this fight, Cross? And, who do you see next for the fucking Heina?
Man, Dustin Jacoby came in there and was not playing around, and he got it done. He did some bad things to Bruno Lopez, man. And it was beautiful to watch, man. Everybody on the stream was going crazy when it happened. And you just love to see that type of violence like that. Guy just coming out getting a finish like that. You love to see it. What you got, Nano?
No, it was exactly that, man. I mean, Dustin Jacoby, go DJ. That's my DJ. I think even he was surprised with the way that he was able to hurt his opponent with what felt like sort of a check hook, or a check kind of jab. But it dropped him, it hurt him. He pounced on him like a spider monkey, or like S-Dog said here, spider moose. What an absolute savage, right? He's always he's someone that is always willing to answer the bell. He's fought all the who's in the division, something we touched on last week. And that was what made me feel good about riding with our boy Dustin Jacoby here. And like he called out in the press conference, man, he's always answering the bell. He had the top 15. He lost to I'm blanking on who he mentioned, but was it Khalil? It was Khalil Roundtree, and he looked good against him. And Khalil's at the top of the division, fighting in this upcoming month of June. Fight Sports Talk. I'm looking at you on that one. Another banger of a fight. So I think you give the man what he asked for, right? Get the people what they want. We want to see DJ at a chance at the top 15. And frankly, I think anybody ranked 10 to 15 can get the smoke from a Go DJ. And that's all I'm going to say there. Shout out Lil Wayne.
Jeez, I took a quick piss and you guys already got through that women's MMA fight. Did Sterling even talk?
I tried.
We moved right
along.
along.
Nobody really talked, bro.
There was nothing. There was nothing to talk about, dog. Why talk about that when you could talk about an amazing light heavyweight?
But did you guys even give names for what's next for Ketlen Vieira? Did she drive the wedge for herself? Nothing.
I did the best I could. I dished it out. They both respectfully said, "Do we keep it moving?"
Bro, nobody in the chat said anything, so I don't think anybody had a problem.
What's crazy is how quick Sterling hit the switch. Sterling is like, I'm a big women's MMA fan to start the show. And now he's like, yeah, with that being said, fucking Ketlen Vieira versus Macy Chasson was what it was. We're talking about light heavyweight Dustin Jacoby now.
I mean, look,
Lane said it right there.
No one next for Caitlin.
Dang, Lane. Yeah. It really be your own people.
It'd be
she's
like that.
The one woman in the chat, and she's like, nah, fuck women's MMA. Thank you.
Thank Carlos. Thanks for saving my time. I'm telling you, bro. We took that and was like,
dude, you guys are straight up hating on the women. I'm not mad at it though. I hated watching that fight as well. Yeah. So, yeah, great breakdown on the Dustin Jacoby fight. Who's next?
What's next for Dustin Jacoby? That's the thing, though.
What's next for Dustin Jacoby?
Hear me out. I got two names. Y'all ready for this? I've been trying to get him a fight forever now. Volkan Oezdemir or Alonzo Minifield. I've been trying to get those two fights.
Alonzo's fighting soon. He's fighting this weekend, isn't he?
No, June 14th. That's the Atlanta card.
There we go. The Atlanta card. I was going to say he's fighting in like the next 2 weeks.
Omar Sy, the French guy.
Ooh,
he's probably gonna get beat. Omar Sy is a beast.
Yeah,
that's a fun, but that's a guaranteed knockout.
That's a fun fight. That's a fun ass fight.
Fun fight.
And a good fight for Jacoby.
No time.
Just like Trigger said, Johnny Walker.
I said it really be your own people. The only woman in the chat. She said the one woman and a Brazilian. Yep. Moving on. Wow. Well, I mean, if you give us the stamp of approval to not spend any time on that fight.
Johnny Walker's a good shout by Trigger. I like that, bro.
I agree with Big Rick here. Giving Big Rick energy, right? Jacoby versus Oezdemir is a banger fight.
I'm trying to tell y'all, boys. I've been trying to get Oezdemir a fight forever now. Every weekend of light heavyweight fights, I say Volkan Oezdemir. I've been trying to get this dude in here for a minute.
Spider Moose is right too. Jacoby fought Menifield. I think Menifield beat Jacoby.
Ooh, Ooh, I got a banger.
Go ahead.
You can do Jacoby against Zhang Mingyang.
That was what I was gonna say as well. Cross. I
The
like that a
Mountain
lot.
Tiger, whatever his name is.
Yes,
Just looked up Lionheart recently. He's
Hey,
fresh
take
as
it
a
easy.
daisy.
that's a
Sorry,
banger.
with
right
all
there.
due respect.
Yeah.
That's
It's a new
banger.
alpha.
Thank you. Damn, Nato, come on.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's respect. It's lion talk.
No, it's
I'm
just
sorry.
like-
I'm sorry.
like-
I'm sorry.
like-
I'm sorry.
like-
That's on me. That's on me. You told me. That's on me.
I'm still
We'll
hurt.
draw the line there. We'll draw the line there.
I'm still hurt. I'm sorry. I'm still hurt.
Sorry. Too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
Oh man. Yeah, we could also do Johnny Walker if we want to see him get knocked out in another comical way.
That can make sense. Two OGs
Always
in
a
a
good
way.
time.
Minifield beat him on points. Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Yes, thanks, Spider Moose. I was gonna say, I believe Minifield beat
definitely
him. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh, damn.
It was a close fight though, if I remember right.
it was, but Minifield definitely won.
Yeah. Or Bogdan. Maybe we give him Anthony Smith's twin.
Doesn't he have a fight? I think he's got a fight. I mean,
I think he's lined up.
Bogdan,
Yeah, he's lined up against Nikita Krylov.
Yep,
Ooh, that's
Oh,
a fight.
shoot.
Banger.
that's gonna be a good one.
Fight.
It's a banger of a fight.
Hey, Jacoby's in a good spot though. There's more fights for him than not. He's in a great spot, bro, and I'm glad to see him get in that spot because he was getting murked for a minute.
Yeah, like he's not ready for top 5. And the issue is anybody outside of the top 5 that is ahead of him that isn't scheduled for a fight already is Dominic Reyes, which they've already fought. Dominic beat him by knockout. Alexander Rakic, that'd be a fun fight. Volkan Ozdemir sitting at number 10, that'd be a fun fight as well.
Come on.
And Johnny Walker. And then obviously the Mountain Tiger, Zhang Mingyang. So I mean, any of those fights I think makes sense. Gun to my head, I'm going with Cross's pick. I'm saying give him the Mountain Tiger.
Yeah, I think that's the
I like
matchup.
that better than my pick.
Yeah, I think that's the matchup. That or Walker.
The
But
Walker,
it might-
the Walker one's a fun fight.
The only issue they might have Yang fighting up.
Yeah, Yang might fight Uzdemir. Shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
They could be making that.
Yang Mingzhang versus
Rakic.
Johnny Walker.
I like Ming Yang against Rakic.
I think that's a better fight. But if I'm UFC, I'm scheduling him against Johnny Walker because that's going to be a more emphatic looking knockout.
For
And
sure.
then you can pole vault him to top 5.
Definitely.
There's a chance he doesn't knock out Rakic. There's a
True.
chance that's a competitive fight. Him versus Johnny Walker, I feel like Johnny Walker starches him randomly against all odds, or Johnny Walker goes down in a Looney Tunes-esque way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time no matter what though.
Fuck, facts. Either way, we win.
Yeah, fans win that fight.
Dixon Sider said Guskov about to get murked by Krylov. He's going to do him dirty in round 1. Ooh,
Krylov
probably not
just got
wrong.
murked. He's coming off getting murked himself.
Yep.
Fair.
Let's not forget.
Lay off Irish Johnny Walker, you cunt. The poor man is married to a redheaded co-enter woman. What?
Well, Spider Moose is Irish, so he's got the
I
Irish.
love that. I love that. I mean, the way he spelled that word was very Irish. You cunt. Jacoby versus Poetan rematch. That's fun as hell, Trigger. That's fun as hell. Sign me up for that.
Yeah.
Walker subs Mignon. Dixon Sider. Fuck out of here, bro.
Whoa.
What a take,
Bro, he
Whoa.
instantly threw in a laughing crying emoji. Like he's not serious.
Whoa.
I don't want Dixon Sider to lose any credibility. Dude's actually really sharp. Oh, Mingyang versus Rakic is a good fight if he gets past Walker. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. See, that's like the trajectory that I'm thinking. UFC would be in tears if that happened, bro. If Walker went out there and subbed Mingyang, and imagine it's like a Gilly or like something just goofy as hell. That'd be funny.
Facts right here, though. Facts
Yeah.
right there.
Krylov versus Mountain Tiger, guaranteed first round finish. Facts.
Yep.
1,000%.
Facts.
1,000%, bro.
Facts. Yeah, that was a fun fight against like him versus Bruno Lopez. Not a whole lot to talk about because it was 1 minute and 50 seconds, and he just went out there and kind of ran through the opponent. I think he does that to a lot of people. He's been looking sharper and sharper every fight here recently, and I mean, there's maybe 3 people in the division that he doesn't do that to in the top like 15, top 25. I like Dustin Jacoby. I've been bullish on him for years, but with that being said, I think did all of us get this next one wrong in the welterweight division? Billy Ray Goff coming in against Ramiz Brahimaj, the fucking parlay breaker. Me.
Nasty finish.
Nasty as hell. And it only took him 9 strikes to get ready for that sub. S-Dogs, brother,
I
tell us about that nasty finish.
I tell you what, dog, the UFC picked the perfect time to do the UFC referee cam because that angle from the referee's point of view, and you see Billy Ray's just completely out. And we were talking about it. I think it was Cross or Leroy that said like it was almost like John Jones, Lyoto Machida, except he didn't drop him on his fucking face. But dude, he was out standing up. I think the reason he was out for so long after the finish is because they let him keep it in for another 6-7 seconds after Billy Ray was already dead body, bro. I mean, he was limp, boys. That shit was nasty. When you see it and you can hear him gurgling and you can see how his elbow is up so goddamn high. It is insane the way he torques that shit in there. So nasty, nasty finish, bro. And I don't think nobody had that on their fucking parlay or picks.
Cross, tell the people how that one made you feel.
Bro, I love seeing that finish, man. And it was definitely reminiscent of John Jones, Lyoto Machida, man. It was just beautiful, man. You just see them let go and the lifeless body just crumple down, bro. It's beautiful, dog. It's beautiful.
It was nasty, dude.
So I talked about this while we were doing the live stream. Like when I do it instinctively, if I'm like reenacting some shit, I just do it the way I was taught and that I've drilled numerous times, right? The way he did it was not like this, right? Like he didn't pull up on it and then push down on the head or anything like that. No. He literally yanked his shit under and did something that I learned in my first or second day of gi jiu-jitsu, where the coach tells you to learn how to use the blade of your wrist, right? It's that little bone that protrudes right here. You can shove that right inside of the Adam's apple. Like you can hear the voice change. It sucks. It doesn't feel good. I'm doing it to myself and it's like, oh, that doesn't feel good. Imagine someone that doesn't like you doing that to you and pulling up in a not weird angle like I just was. And then grabbing their own hand, whether it's a gable grip or a cross lock, and just ripping up on it. He was pulling that blade of his wrist through that man's throat. It was bad. It was bad, man. Puts him to sleep. It was clinical, man. It was clinical the way he went out there and did that. So, Ramiz Brahimaj, did we bet on the wrong guy? Yeah. Did some of us lose money? Yeah. Are we sad? Nah. That's fantastic, bro. If I'm going to lose money, at least fucking do it entertainingly, man. That was the epitome of that. So, you love to see it. And yeah, like I said, I'm not even mad that I bet on the wrong guy. Nano. What were your thoughts on this? What stood out to you most?
Yeah, I think the big thing was how much, I guess, how good Ramiz looked really from the jump, right? Obviously, it's a short one. Y'all pretty much covered it, but he was walking down Billy Ray Goff from the jump. And I thought that was interesting, being that Billy Ray was supposed to be the Ben favorite. Heavy favorite, too. I think it was mentioned he might have been the biggest.
Largest on the card.
Yep, exactly. So shout out there. But like Big Rick also said, schoolyard choke, kind of the big brother choke, if you will. And yeah, the body cam was sick. Shout out SOC for mentioning that. That was really the only other point I wanted to make was, bro, that is sick. I don't know when they started doing that, but fire emojis, Jackson, we see you out there. And yeah, that fight, that kind of finish, absolute fireworks, absolute fire. And Ramiz, just the type of energy he had too as well. He's going after DC, telling him, and he's got that thick New York accent too, which I didn't really expect. But everyone's doubted me. I'm always been counted out my whole life. Whatever. Hey, go Adrian. I can't do it, but I'm walking in. It was a hell of a performance, man. I don't know what's next for the kid. We all been counting him out for far too long. But I don't think you necessarily give him a top 15er. I think you got to let it mature kind of slowly but surely. But I definitely will be tuned in for the next time Ramiz goes out there because, like DC said, he knows he's not Mike Tyson, but he's got some power and he could definitely put you to sleep by just choking you out and reading you a lullaby. So hell of a performance.
Hell of a
no
performance
name for
indeed.
me though.
And man, Dixon Sider said, I got a confession to make, boys. I cashed on Ramiz round one sub plus 1,400 because it was his only winning condition, in my honest opinion. However, Billy Ray was in all of my parlays, so I didn't really make a profit.
Ray,
it happens to the best of us, man.
He's supposed to be.
It happens to the best of us. Schoolyard choke.
I can't believe that, dude. The way it happened too, because Billy Ray's bro. I was hyping him up before the fight was even happening. I was like, boys, lock in right now. Billy Ray's a motherfucker. And then, like you said, first round just went out there and just got absolutely snatched the fuck up.
Went from Billy Ray's an absolute motherfucker to Billy Ray's an absolute motherfucking goner.
He is dead. He is. Hey, boys, he was out for a minute too. He was out.
Yeah,
He was
just laying there.
that was bad.
Yeah, he was
didn't do
dead in the
anything.
water, bro.
Just laying there.
Yeah, bro, he was out bad,
The
dude.
camera did no favors just over his breathless body there, just breathing for what felt like
They
in
got
a
that
minute or two.
from PFL, because I know PFL
Yeah.
does that where they have the glasses and they have the camera on the roof.
I thought about that, bro. I was like, is
Yeah, the
Dana
ref
watching
cam started there.
PFL? I was watching that. I was like, Dana's. I was like, let me find out Dana or somebody from the UFC brass tuning in, man.
PFL's glasses kind of look like the fighting nerd glasses. They got like the white tape around it holding the camera on.
Dave Beers says, I believe Ramirez has finished all of his fights. Did y'all know that? I didn't know much about Ramirez going into this.
I didn't, but by the looks of it,
Does he have a
definitely
100% finish rate?
Hey, if he's fighting like that, he probably does. Jesus Christ, man, that dude's a
He
fucking.
does have a 100% finish rate.
Yeah, shout out Jay Beers for that. And
Yeah,
also,
one win by knockout and 11 wins by sub.
Damn, 11 subs, 1 knockout. That's crazy.
Yeah, not bad for 12 wins.
Damn, that's crazy, dude. How many losses does he have? What is he? 12 and what?
He's 12-5.
Oh, damn.
And he's only been finished one time, I believe. He's only been finished. Hold on.
Okay. Hey, remember this next time he fights. Damn.
Yeah, he's only been finished one time. It was by knockout.
Who knocked him out? UFC or no?
No, not in UFC. It was actually it was technically they stopped the fight due to an ear injury. I think Max Griffin blew his ear up
Mm.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's
because he had like really bad cauliflower ear and it popped. If I remember right.
bro. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was in the last round. It was stopped with like 3 minutes and 57 seconds left.
Hey, Trigger does have a good point. They did start Pride FC. That is a good point. Pride did have the UFC or the referee glasses. Good shout.
Oh yeah, BKFC did have it, huh?
No, not BKFC. Pride.
Oh, Pride had those.
Pride. Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I saw some videos. People were clipping that out. Like
Huh.
people were like, everyone forgets.
I don't
about
remember those in Pride. I'll have to check that out.
Bro, I just saw it on X. People were posting it on X that Pride, like they had Pride referees wearing them, and I was like, damn.
Oh, that's when it split, right?
Ooh.
That's what it was. He fucking down elbowed it and it split his ear and it was like hanging off. Yes, that's what it
Oof.
was.
Oh, that's horrible.
I couldn't remember if it was cauliflower ear or what it was. I just remember it was a weird ass ear injury and he bleeding like a fucking stuffed pig.
Yeesh.
Yeah, bro, that's what it was. He's like, you want to hear slicing elbow? Yeah, he almost sliced an ear off with his elbow, bro.
Jesus
Max
Christ.
Payne Grissom, bro.
Shout out
What a guy.
shout out Max Griffin. Absolute dog.
Bro.
Absolute dog.
Yeah, that was disgusting. I do remember that. That wasn't that long ago either, right? It was 2020.
Main event time?
Main event time, man. Main event time. Since this is the new main event, right?
Yeah, that was a banger co-main, boys.
A little impromptu
Time!
for the main event of the evening, folks. It was a lightweight bout between Mateusz Gamrot and Ludovic Klein.
Let's go.
My goodness, my goodness. Yeah, dude, Mateusz Gamrot went out there and ultimately defended the house that he has built. This is a guy that I don't think is going to get a title shot anytime soon. I don't know what he did to piss off Dana White and the brass, but I mean, he's just going to keep fighting up and comers, I think, and doing this to them ultimately. He just negated everything Ludovic Klein brought to the table. Ludovic tried really, really hard to go out there and land shots, but I mean, he stepped in there against the highest ranked opponent he's ever fought in Mateusz Gamrot, and it showed, right? He wasn't ready for the step up in competition. No matter how good the body work was, there wasn't enough of it to slow down Mateusz Gamrot's ultimate just kind of onslaught. And the worst thing is, like, yes, he landed 6 of 11 takedowns. I think if this entire fight stayed standing, Mateusz probably still would have found paths to victory. So, you know me. We call it the No Filter Show. When I'm right, I will tell you I was right. Probably annoyingly so. But hey, when I was wrong, I will tell you I was wrong. I also said last week going into this fight, this is one of my least confident dog picks in Ludovic Klein, right? If he goes out here and lands the body work early, he can shut down Mateus Gamrot. We've seen Mateus get pushed back and kind of bullied, for lack of better words. Not often, but it's capable. It can happen. This was not one of those times. It just wasn't one of those times. Cross, kick me off the stool, man. What happened? What went wrong for Ludovic here?
I mean, going into it, I went with Mateusz Gamrot. I just thought the pace and the grappling and the chain wrestling, I thought it just would be too much for Ludovic Klein. And ultimately, that's just what it was, man. Like in Gamrot's last fight with Dan Hooker was an absolute scrap, absolute war. I actually thought Gamrot won the fight. Very close fight. But if you cannot handle the pace and the wrestling and the pressure of Gamrot, you're literally going to drown. Like, he is just going to drown you. He's been in there with Arman Tsarukyan, Dan Hooker, Rafael Fiziev. Like, this guy's been in there with the who's who. So when he gets in there, you know what you got to deal with. It's going to be a rough night no matter who you are. And if you're not prepared for it, like, he's going to expose it. And he's just going to go to it over and over and over again and just control you for 15 minutes.
Nano.
It was absolutely that. No, I appreciate what everyone's mentioning so far. And I was looking at Gamrot's track record and everyone he's fought. I mean, he is a problem, man. He's been through the ringer. Obviously, that last fight against Hooker was a little bit of a blemish, but he came back here and really made a statement, right? That wrestling, it's almost of that Merab caliber. It's almost of that Khabib-esque, you know, that those Dagestani boys. I mean, just the craftiness, right? That he can go out there and simply grab what feels like a pinky toe and drag you down to the floor somehow and just absolutely dominate you. I kind of saw this happening that way. I mean, the reality of the situation is I didn't really see anything in Ludovic's game that made me feel that he had an answer for that kind of barrage, being a Gamrot. Again, we're talking on the short list of the best in that department. At any weight class. I mean, this guy could probably go up and do that to some welterweights if he really wanted to, or middleweights. Anybody, anyway, can get that smoke when, again, you have that kind of pedigree. And if you're a Gamrot, you're kind of in the driver's seat at this point. You go out there, you take an unranked opponent, you put in work, you're a competitor, you're a company man. I think someone asked why they fought, and I'm pretty sure that it was because everyone said no. I don't know if Gamrot kind of insinuated that. He's pretty humble, but I think he mentioned that nobody really answered the bell. I think they've called around and no one maybe was available. Obviously, timing's one thing, but I think they heard that call from Gamrot coming in, and I think they ignored it. So made sense why someone like a Ludovic did. He, took a gamble on himself. You got to love that as a competitor, but obviously fell short. Got to hit the drawing board in that department. And then if you're Gamrot, I think you just sit and be ready, right? I mean, you can be the potential backup for a upcoming title fight, or maybe a Dan Hooker pulls out, or an Arman. Maybe you run something like that back. But he is at the top. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to see him necessarily fight a Gaethje. I don't know if Gaethje would go for it, but there's really, literally not a lot of people left at the top for a Gamrot when you've basically fought all the who's who's already. And just looking at the landscape of this really stacked lightweight division that we always love talking about. Curious to hear your guys' thoughts, though, or if there's any other names top of mind. But Gamrot definitely has his fair share of opportunity at this point, given that kind of performance.
Yeah, I mean, before we jump into names too much, S-Dogs, what were your thoughts on the fight overall?
I was about to say, I mean, these boys basically just nailed it, man. I think Gamrot needs to get a little bit more respect for fighting a guy that's not even ranked. I think that shit was crazy, first of all. Dude's number 7 fighting a guy. And like we all been saying, everyone's been saying he should be fighting a top 5 guy, but he's in a weird spot, like Nano was just saying, bro, because he can't fight Charles Oliveira. Apparently he's going to fight Ilya. He can't fight Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is waiting for a title shot. Max and Dustin are about to fight. Who knows what's going to happen with, like, the winner? Dustin's done, probably. Not probably. I think 100% that's going to be Dustin's last fight. I don't know if Max Holloway beats Dustin Poirier and then goes, let me fight Gamrot. So
run it back with Arman Tsarukyan. I was just about to say that. I was just about to say,
definitely do that.
Dan Hooker, boys. It's either Dan Hooker or Arman Tsarukyan. That's
Bro,
that's the only thing.
I think Hooker's gonna be out for a while, man. His hands still.
His
yeah,
hands
kinda-
are blue.
Yeah, his hand is crazy. He
It's
couldn't
bad.
even shake hands. Yeah. So Arman Tsarukyan makes the most sense. And boys, let's not forget that first fight, scrap. Could have been fight of the year. So I think Arman needs to shut the fuck up and do what he's told for a little bit. So I think Martius Gamrot and Tsarukyan makes the most sense, bro.
If not that,
And he
I mean,
he did a favor for the UFC fighting a guy unranked.
absolutely. If not that, I mean, I think the Arman is probably the fight that makes the most sense for like a number one contender or like a pseudo number one contender fight. If not that, I mean, you have two guys that would both make sense for him to fight that are fighting each other in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Isn't that crazy? Because that'd
Like,
be the most perfect fight for him. Beneil or Money.
Like Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria, you give him the loser of that fight. Winner fights either like whoever. I mean, that's going to be the champion, right? Whoever wins that fight. So winner fights whoever is number one, or if Islam comes back down, and the loser fights whatchamacallit, fucking Mateus Gamrot. Like, I think that makes the most sense, unless, like I said jokingly earlier, like Mateus really pissed off Dana in the press, which I don't understand how or why. But I do agree with the comment that you said, Cross. Gamrot is the lightweight Bilal. Not only in fight style, not only in dominance, but in the way that he's being treated.
Yeah, no love.
Well
He's
said.
ultimately been blacklisted, man. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. For what too? Like, what has he done?
That's what I'm
He
saying.
looked
Like,
nice.
when
He looked
did he do
nice,
anything wrong?
He's bro. He's took Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker. I mean, boys, we can pull up his last 10 fights, bro. Just go through Gamrot's last 10. Like, you don't gotta go 10. You can go 5. It's just
And if-
murderer after murderer.
And if they keep punishing him, the fight that we will ultimately get will unfortunately be either the winner of Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes,
Yep,
or the winner of Hinato Money Moicano versus Benil Dariush.
that's it. Both ranked below him. Either way,
Both
Both
he's
ranked
already-
below him no matter what.
He's already fought
Yeah.
Benny.
already fought Benny too. Good
Maybe
point.
he wants to avenge
That's
that loss.
the reason I'm
That's
saying that is
the
because I don't
only
think
angle
Benny
there,
is going to win that fight against Hinato.
Yeah,
Any of Miss
Patty
Mary's
Pimblett,
family that's listening, cover your ears. I know you guys don't want to hear that.
and I think Patty Pimblett, bro, is like a kind of. I saw someone mention that in there. I think he's a step. I think he's looking for the way he beat the fuck out of Michael Chandler, bro. And like the
Patty's
run
not taking
he's
that
on right
fight.
now. Yeah, he's not taking that fight. He's not gonna.
Patty fights one of two fights, either a title fight
no.
or a title contender fight. There's nothing else
That's
for
it.
Patty.
That's
Yeah,
all.
like
That's
either
it,
like Arman Tsarukyan for Patty or like
Mhm.
Justin
Yeah.
Gaethje, like somebody like that.
Ooh,
For
Justin Gaethje would be amazing.
I could also see Patty literally fighting the winner or loser of Charles DuBronx versus Ilia Topuria.
I'm cool.
And
with
if he
that
fights
too.
the loser, he's the next guy to fight the winner.
I'm cool with that too. Patty versus Ilya? Ooh, or
Patty versus
Charles?
Ilia. Hand sanitizer, boy.
Oh my god, bro! They got so much built up.
They've already
to
got the
it.
build
It would be amazing. And then him and Charles been like not talking shit, but like they've been wanting to fight each other too for a little while now. So I mean,
Yeah.
bro,
And I mean,
Gamrot's
I-
in a weird spot.
I know the fight didn't happen with Macy Barber and such, right? Like she had a seizure. The fight didn't end up coming to fruition. But shout out UFC, right? Like they made it right. They paid her opponent her, I believe, show and win money for Aaron Blanchfield.
Damn, made a check. Made
Yeah,
it.
For,
and she
wait,
got the
easiest
money
check she's
for,
made in her career.
And she's also got the money from Macy missing weight too.
Ooh,
Oh, she got the
Aaron
extra 30%
Blanchfield.
too.
Bro, she collected a 6-figure check to do nothing but a training camp. Shout out Aaron Blanchfield.
Fire.
Shout out. Get that
Yer.
money. Get that money.
So, I mean, we're obviously not going to play what should be next for Macy Barber. What should be next for Macy Barber is getting her health in check, figuring out what the actual health problem that caused the seizure is. And, you know, we wish her nothing but well and, speedy recoveries. But in my opinion, we do have a winner on Saturday night that didn't even have to go and fight, and that's Aaron Blanchfield. What should the UFC ultimately do with her? Right? Because
Alexa
she's
Grasso.
looked... Okay.
Ooh,
That was quick.
Alexa Grasso's the move. That's the
That was quick.
move.
I mean,
Not bad.
Natalia Silva's number one contender. Like, I think Silva shouldn't even take another fight. Like, for her, it's fight for the
Yeah.
title next. She just beat Grasso, former champion. She's ranked number one in the division. Feroz coming off a loss. Maybe you could. And I mean, Blanchfield
Yeah.
just lost to Feroz, so they're not going to
Yeah.
do that rematch straight away. So I think the Grasso fight makes the most sense.
Damn, Cross.
Yeah.
I think you're right, bro. I'm looking at she already fought Fiat. Fiat beat her at Newark. So
Yeah,
can't do that.
Fiora like tore her up, bro. It was bad.
You can't do that, bro. Pena's fighting Kayla Harrison. Shevchenko's
Silva's a good shout though. Natalia Silva for a ultimate number one contender fight. That's a good shout.
Yeah.
And also, like, do we know what's happening with the title? Is Zhang Weili coming up? Is she going to fight Valentina? Because if that's coming up, then that's a bit of a logjam. And if that's happening, and I'm either Natalia or Aaron, I'm saying, hey, I want to stay active, but I don't want to fight anybody outside of the top 5. There's only one name that makes sense for me.
Yeah.
I think Silva would be a problem for Blanchfield.
I think
all that footwork, bro, would
eats
be
it
a problem.
up, bro. Silva's the most mesmerizingly fun fighter to watch right now.
Nice to look at too.
Yep.
Yeah, easy on the eyes for sure.
It's funny because we said the same thing, but they're entirely different.
Oh yeah, I get mesmerized watching her too.
Hey, or what Trigger said. How about Yan, that Chinese chick?
Oh,
I
grimy.
ain't mad at that either. Yan's a good one. Oh, Dakota.
I'm so ready for Dakota Dacheva to be in the UFC.
Wait, is she the same weight class as Aaron, or is she 135? She's big.
I think she's 20. I think she's flyweight.
Oh, she's flyweight. Hey, first
think.
fight in the UFC. Here's Aaron.
Yeah, she's tall, but
Blanchfield.
she's not. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
Damn, this guy
bro.
really believes Barber got all of a sudden got a seizure right before the fight. No, I believe that she probably got a seizure while cutting weight, probably had multiple seizures after cutting weight and making the weight, and that the UFC was doing UFC things behind the scenes and trying to keep the fight going against doctor's orders, and then ultimately had to make the curtain call. We've seen it happen before. I mean, you think Stefan Struve didn't have prior heart palpitations and just randomly started having them right before he was going to fight meathead Matt Mitrione in a heavyweight co-main event? Probably not. Right? He was probably already having that condition, and then the UFC realized and got the word from the doctor that, hey, we know you guys really want this to happen, but guy might die out there, and they have to make that call. It sucks because they lose a lot of money. The fighters both really, really want to continue and go on and do their thing. And hey, you know what? Not everybody handles it the way Aaron Blanchfield did. We're all upset and in arms because Aaron Blanchfield said she's unprofessional. She's getting her life together, blah, blah, blah. Matt Mitrione yelled. He cursed. Then he cried a little bit. And then he walked his happy ass, or sad ass at the moment, over to Stefan Struve's locker room. He gave him a hug and he wished him well. At the end of the day, neither person wants to pull out of a fight. You think Macy Barber wanted to train for 3-4 months and then not get paid? Like, if you're in the chat and you actually think that's a real thing, like, come on, bro. Like, think about what you're saying. Nobody wants to train 2 to 3 times a day. Sterling, I'm looking at you, bro. Like,
It's terrible.
train 2 to 3 times a day and then not make the fight?
It's terrible.
You had an opponent pull out recently, right?
I
Like,
was just about to say. I didn't want to bring it up, but I had the shit happen, and it was Thursday. So we were supposed to fight Saturday, and it happened on Thursday, and I was like depressed. So I couldn't imagine day of what the emotions were like. And like you said, bro, everyone's kind of shitting on Macy pretty hard on this, bro. She didn't get a single dollar for this. She's never gonna live this down. This will always be behind her, bro. Like, imagine her next fight. This is all everyone's.
it's worse than a loss on your record, bro.
Bro, the media's her next fight, this is the only thing they're gonna ask her is this. This is the only interview she's gonna get from now on. This will never like live her down. And she lost the Aaron Blanchfield fight, which probably was a number 1 contender fight, which is why Valentina was in the fucking crowd on the Apex card. So everyone lost in this, bro. Fans lost in this. That sucks for Macy. Aaron won in this. She got a free 6 figures to just have a training camp. So, and overall, she gets the respect from everybody because she was ready to take the fight. So, it's crazy, bro. This has never happened, and it might not never happen again.
It's a situation for everybody involved, bro. Like, nobody wants this kind of situation. It's a shit show. We do have another comment regarding women's MMA in the chat here. Bueno Silva versus Jocelyn Edwards announced. Who y'all got? Speaking WMMA from Grindr.
Jocelyn Edwards, man, got a lot of momentum right now, bro.
I agree, bro.
Right now.
Yeah.
I agree. I last time I bet against Jocelyn Edwards, I said would be the last time I ever bet against Jocelyn Edwards. So I'm there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Myra Bueno Silva, man, she has not looked like she should have been fighting for a title not too long ago. She hasn't looked like that at all.
Bro.
Like, she went out there and arguably got beat up by Jasmine
Já se dava ter.
in that last fight. So
Mhm.
yeah. That's an easy pick for me. I'd love to see Mayra go out there and dominate and make the Jasmine win look even better for Jasmine, but that's just probably not the case, right? We're going Jocelyn Edwards on that one. Is what it is. Jay Beers, last comment, and then we'll go ahead and close the show here, folks. Jay Beers, well, think about this. Armand pulled out the day before and still had not fought to this day. Macy might be done. That's exactly the point, Jay Beers. Like, all these people are shitting on Macy, and they're like, oh, wow, Macy sucks. Like, you really think she had a seizure and this, that, and the other? No. Do I think she had a seizure 30 seconds before she's supposed to make the walk? No. I think she probably had it a day before and was fooling herself and her team into thinking that she'd still be okay to make the walk. Can you imagine if she actually walked out to the cage? Bruce yells, "It's time!" The camera cuts to her and she's on the ground seizing.
Man, I got another matchup.
That would ruin the UFC.
Throw your girl Jasmine Vicious in there with Blanchfield.
Oh, brother.
Hey,
She tweeted literally on Saturday and said hashtag stay vicious with devil horns, bro. She's ready for it.
Yeah.
And she does bad things to Blanche.
Ooh.
Really good matchup.
She'll send Blanche to the Golden Girls, bro.
And I think just because I personally have more of an appetite for a Weili Shevchenko matchup, I think this kind of helps lead into that a little bit more, right? You make it a little bit more of a gauntlet, or just whoever is available and ready, you step up, and then you'll be the for sure number one contender after that. Hey, maybe you throw them on the same card. But shout out Mr. Cushman over there. We see you. Take my money. Cross, we see you. Cross is spitting fire today. Let's go.
Cross is definitely on fire today. Spitting bars. All right, folks. Well, there's 75 of you watching right now. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you're watching on Twitter, do us a huge favor. Come on over to YouTube at MMA Anomaly, at Crossover MMA, at S-Dogs MMA Talk. You can see on the bottom if you don't know how to spell or you just want a little visual assistance there. But either way, make sure you come on over to the YouTube, hit the like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. That way you know when each and every one of our channels is live and we can see your beautiful faces in the chat. Either way, if you do nothing I asked you to do, the one thing we'll ask you to do every single episode that really matters to us is that you keep on going and you keep on growing, folks. We appreciate you for being here, and we will see you next episode.
Peace.
You've been listening to the MMA Anomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMA Anomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.